47 questions submitted, and there's a number on each index card. And so while I ask one question, Kathy's going to go around and just randomly, if you want to pick a question, raise your hand, and you'll pick an index card, and that'll be the next question. And we're going to try to get as many questions as possible, randomly, whatever questions come up. And then each candidate will address those same set of questions. So you will hear from each person the same set. And then at the end, there's going to be 2 questions. Additionally, questions were submitted for particular candidates, and the board has reviewed all of those questions, and there'll be 2 questions asked for each candidate. So that's the format for the forum. We hope that you'll provide feedback to the school board about the candidates, and that is electronically on the link that's on the webpage. It's also a QR code that you can scan on your phone if you want to do that. That feedback form is anonymous, or you can put your name, your choice. And then also that will close tomorrow night at 5. So, and then the board will get all that feedback. So that's how we're collecting feedback for this process. And we're going to get started with Vince. So you're up.
Thank you. It's good to be back in this room. Spent a lot of hours in here watching, at the time, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in PE and before school, and in my 2 years here between 2007 and 2009 as a bullpup. And it's good to be back in this building in particular. I had a chance, obviously, to see all the buildings today and some great things happening in all the schools. Once again, my name is Vince Swaggerty. I have had an opportunity to spend time on the South Coast. My very first year teaching was in Portland Language, and then later on I had a chance to get back here and be back on the South Coast. And then just as recently as 5 years ago, I spent 3 years as the principal at the Reedsport Community Charter School, the 7 through 12 in Reedsport. Last 5 years I've been over in Mitchell, Oregon. I want to be a superintendent again. I had been prior to coming here to Campbell Valley. And so I got over to Central Oregon in Mitchell. Mitchell is in Weaver County. You know, Painted Hills. We're the closest town to the Painted Hills. But there are more cattle in Weaver County than there are human beings. And so it was a real culture shock for me to go out there. One of the things that I want you to hear from me as a leader is that I'm a leader of people. I think leadership is about growing people. And I have become a leader over the course of my career that has valued the students and the staff and the parents and the community and everybody in the process. And so I believe that my job as a leader is to lead people, to empower them, to give them the ability to grow in what they do and support them in what they do, because we all work together, because our greatest resource are the kids that we have a chance to teach and spend time with. And today I got a chance to go through the buildings and to see all the faces, whether they were little faces or whether they were high school faces or middle school faces. And of course, it didn't take me but a couple of seconds around some middle school kids, and they just came up and said, "Hey, how's it going? You're dressed up." So I love that. I want to have an opportunity to be with middle school kids, and they're amazing in that way. They're just so out there. So, and I see a lot of faces that I have met and seen before or were here 14 years ago when I was here. So it's been a great day in the community. I also want you to know that I'm kind of a humble and really stable kind of a leader. I am not as flashy maybe as some of the other folks that might come before you in the next little while. I try to be as solid as a rock. I'm very consistent, I'm predictable, I'm safe. The people who work with me and have spent time with me know that I'm the kind of person you can come to and you can talk to. I have a good sense of humor. I'm level-headed, and under fire, I stay level-headed. I'm one of those folks that if you try to find drama in the town of Mitchell, you're not going to find it in the school. And because we have a climate and a culture in Mitchell that is really positive. And it is in a lot of ways, because when we went in there 5 years ago, we walked into a place that had a lot of room. And we just did the things that we could do to alleviate that by being genuine and authentic and loving the people in the town and being involved with the kids and really just being who we are as a human being, and make sure that the people in the building just kind of fostered that. We had teachers that came and fostered that. They stayed, they liked being there. And we're student teachers from other districts because they now want to be in the place that I currently am. And it's not just about me, it's about our entire building, it's about all of us. And it's about everybody in our building having a good, positive culture. And in the midst of all of the turmoil, COVID, everything associated with that, we were small enough, we actually had a chance to be in school with all our kids every day, starting in the fall of 2020. And it seems like it's a wonderful thing that we had a chance to do that. Except that there was no vaccine yet. And I had staff members who were definitely afraid of having a kindergartner walk through the door with COVID, giving it to them. And so there was a lot of anxiety, there was a lot of things that I know you faced as you came back into school later that same school year, and it was required us to be in hybrid. So we've been in a lot of stress, a lot of strain. We live in a world in which we feel like the schools aren't doing a very good job. We had kids that were online and they've fallen behind. And in Mitchell, we had the least amount of drop in student performance of anyone in the state. And we actually, an article was written about that. And the reason why it was, we had the chance to be back with kids in the fall of 2020. We had 9 weeks of learning course. But we had to lead through that. And we did. And we came out really, in a really positive manner on the other side. So I'm just going to say, and leave you with this. I may not be the flashiest person you see today, but I probably will stay. Right? I'm just going to say, no, I don't know. I don't know shit. Right? And I don't know. Well, I know a little bit about some of my other things. But, and it's kind of funny, but the reality is, I am a very consistent, capable, skilled leader. And I'm not prone to drama. I'm prone to focusing on kids and learning. And all of these faces that I saw today, my goal is to give them a bright future and to do what I can to make that happen.
All right, so the first question is, how can North Bend be a model district to impact change in work?
When I was here, there was a level of excellence that North Bend had that is still here. You see it in the data, you see it in the community, you see it when I go through the buildings. And I think COVID has kind of tarnished, and everywhere, not just North Bend, all across the state. COVID has made it more difficult to do what we did. In some cases, because the people who, the attendance right now in North Bend is not as good. The data shows that it's low and needs to be higher. So we need to find ways to get kids back in the classroom. But all of those pieces are still here. They are still in place. And for us to be a model for the state means that we need to take those pieces and all those parts, the great staff members, and the community support, and the people that are here that want to see great things happen, the athletics, and the band. I see the hand of the band. Amber's program, think about that. There's all that excellence that starts at the elementary, where I saw them singing today. And then she gets to hear us. Well, when I was there, she got to hear 6th graders, and they can't play a clarinet without a squeak. And then all of a sudden, they're winning the state championship because she has the resources, because she has people because of her and the people in the music program, and she's able to build from that. And I think that's how we make that happen. We make the resources happen, we put them in the right spot, we hire the right people, we support the people that we already have, and then we try to convince our community that they need to have their students here today. And I think that's how we make the difference. And we not only get back to where we were pre-COVID, but then we move beyond that and make it a model for the state.
The next question is question 34, which is North Bend faces unique challenges in terms of resource allocation and budgeting. How would you prioritize resources to address the needs of students from economically disadvantaged backgrounds while still ensuring high-quality education for all?
I think what was coming to mind is the question was asked had to do with our ability to utilize funding and resources that have become available to us. I don't exactly know what your teacher integrated guidance and your student investment calendar is moving towards. I know that in my world, we utilize those funds that are now really not one-time funds. The ESSER funds are going to go away in about a year, but the other SIA funds and those kind of targeted resources, we push into the area of greatest need. At Mitchell, one of that we didn't have support for kids,